Social media is out to destroy men. It's no secret that men are visual creatures. And honestly, I see no problem with that. But the algorithms exploit this as a weakness to keep you on their platforms as long as possible. By only filling in your following tab with IG models, you're feeding into the exact system that's making men weak today. My guys, there's nothing wrong with having primal physical attraction to women, but use that primal desire to attract real girls in real life. To become the man that won't accept a girl at face value, and the man that women need to better themselves for. You have the ability to change your own algorithm. So engage with content that will actually serve you. Because at the end of the day, your presence on this earth is to fuel the betterment of society.
I have the impression that a significant portion of the problem is not simply that young men are flawed, but also that most of them soon adopt stereotypes of the ideal. And wherever there is a shortcoming, a weakness in character, or a warning sign, that is it. Women move on. He is no longer even worth their time.
Every man that I've ever been with has treated me like a princess. And when they didn't, I looked at them like, what's happening right now? I don't get it. I know I don't like it. So I'm gonna go. You know what I mean? Anything I asked for, any expectation I had, I was just like, this is how it's always happened for me. So why wouldn't it happen now? Unless you're different from everything that I've ever experienced. And if you're different from everything I've ever experienced, then either you're not a good fit, or I'm obviously too good for you, or I just need to hurry up and get to the next guy who's going to give me what I've always been given.
You never see a woman in a long-term committed relationship give this type of advice. Because let's be honest, the women that demand princess treatment are never the ones that reciprocate that same energy. And they leave the second the man makes a mistake.
Women who demand the princess treatment never reciprocate that same energy. Golden words by Emily here. Let's be honest before a young man reaches that stage. Until he is shown to be innocent, there are already biased assumptions about him, such that he may be a predator, an emotional abuser, a weirdo, a creep, clumsy, too soft, too attached, didn't read the signs, a loser, etc. Or, like in this clip, he's supposed to treat a girl like a princess no matter how she treats him. Guys who tried dating had a hurdle to climb. For a chance, they had to overcome a lot of preconceived notions. There was a time when marriage vows were taken fairly seriously, but now, it's just a step in the process of legally defrauding men out of cash and assets. A date is either her way of getting a free meal, or a job interview where she decides if you're worthy of a one-sided divorce. Looks, status, and money will get you some intimacy, but won't protect you from their sinister plans for you.
So if you didn't know, I'm a sex worker. I do OnlyFans for a living. And I just moved to a new state, so I'm trying to find a place to live. And yesterday, I went to go look at this house, and the guy was like, oh, what do you do for work? And I was like, oh, I do social media. And he was like, that's so cool. And started asking me a bunch of questions about it. Like, oh, do you do brand deals? I was like, yeah, I do brand deals. But after a while, I had to be like, hey, I'm sorry, I don't like talking about my work. He was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Can I ask why? And I'm like, well, it's because I actually do OnlyFans.
If my daughter ever came to me and said that she was doing OnlyFans, I would disown her directly. That's how much I hate these. For $25.99, anyone can dip a peek under there.
Just being a good, hard-working man means nothing to them. You have to check all the boxes before you get the box. And that box isn't special anymore. Her body count is now sky high, and not all those victims were clean. The bottom line is to get out of the West just to experience how women in other cultures treat men. The perspective is amazing. You can be valued and treated well everywhere but here.
Generally, this is the attitude when it comes to guys who earn less than 100K. And it's to do with social media, and it's to do with the male influencers as well, who promote having to have, $100 million just to get by. And it's just not the reality of things. Most men are out there working extremely hard, contributing to society and building things. I'm very lucky in the sense that I actually get to have a YouTube channel where I can earn a lot of money.
Okay,
if my
well,
YouTube channel,
then what do you do?
if my YouTube channel goes away tomorrow like that, people will watch some other shit.
Yeah.
Doesn't even matter. But these guys, if they stop building the structure tomorrow, all of a sudden we've got half-built structures everywhere. All of a sudden you can't flush your toilet. All of a sudden you can't have electricity. And all of a sudden we can't have protection from the police. These are the people who literally build the world around you. And it's just like, I absolutely detest that notion of people laughing at people who work with their hands.
Life is way better when your world doesn't revolve around women. Quit chasing it. Find what makes you actually happy. The typical chasing tail and willingly locking yourself out of fear of being independent is quite pathetic and not masculine at all. Have actual interests in life. This drive to pair up is a cultural weirdness. I'd say this for both genders, but it's understandable for women because they're weak by nature. For dudes to be so needy is pathetic and ultimately a huge weakness in life, and also in the relationships that you do have. If you don't have any other interests in life, then you are just trying to pair up for security and fear. Be a better person and more complete human, and you will have power over this, and you won't be desperate and needy. I do not advocate for a monk life, as I always keep all options open, but I do not go looking for it. If you are looking for it, you will try to compromise yourself out of desperation, or try to bend the reality of who your mate actually is. True. There is no longer any point in having any long-term relationship with a woman. The financial risk of a wife or common-law wife is too high. And having children is too risky due to the woman being able to take the child and live off child support. So, if you want a kid, adopt one, or use a surrogate mom.
Instagram or a long-term boyfriend? Pick one. Okay, let's see.
Instagram.
Okay.
What?
Instagram.
Instagram? Okay. Instagram? Okay.
Oh, Jadina's getting red pilled right now.
Okay. What about you?
Probably Instagram.
Mr. Trey.
I probably already knew, but Instagram.
What the fuck?
I would say Instagram. I haven't met or found a man yet that can give me what Instagram has given me. So Instagram.
Whoa! Yeah, this is why this show is necessary. Do you see how all these girls are in a relationship with Instagram instead of a real man? They're addicted to attention instead of love.
Actually, yeah. And we wonder why divorce rates are skyrocketing and marriage rates are declining and men are overwhelmingly depressed. It's because of things like this. Somebody replied and said, "Who raised y'all?" The internet. Somebody else said, "It's fine, boys. They're weeding out the girls from the women for us. Girls love attention. Women value love." That's wholesome. It's also very real.
Women receive a lot of attention simply for sharing a few hot photos on Instagram, while regular men receive zero attention and are essentially invisible. There has been a lot of effort put into criticizing the unfair standards that are applied to women, but not as much to men. It's as if men just don't matter to society anymore. When things go tough, I see people justifying illogical standards for men.
Women use their Instagram as like their own little attention economy. If she does not reply to your DMs, then you don't follow her. And if you follow her and she doesn't follow you back, that's a big red flag. In addition to that, you do not comment on her photos unless you have piped her or you are within 1 or 2 dates. These girls will like take as much free attention as they can get, bro.
We are deliberately upholding the same chauvinistic norms for males while feigning an interest in this utopian imaginary egalitarian and prosperous future. It appears that there are still these widely accepted and romanticized ideals for what a handsome man should be. In other words, a guy is devoid of emotions, flaws, and blunders. He is doing well financially. He is tall, attractive, and in excellent physical condition. He works with his hands in addition to having a degree. He is not just confident, as some claim, but also socially dominant. You see, it is unhealthy and impractical to have such expectations.
Says to men that what attention is to women.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so would you argue that we cheat on men by having open Instagram accounts while in a relationship?
Wait.
I said, is sex to men what attention is to women? You all said yes. Please don't change it now. So could we argue that we cheat by having open Instagram accounts while in a relationship?
No.
Posting first tracks,
Wow.
having the men like all the pictures.
But today's women just provide their beauty in exchange for what they desire, which is literally every good quality possible in a man. We have a serious issue when the overwhelming majority of young men are held to unrealistic standards by women. It's challenging to have trust in one's abilities right now. It makes perfect sense for men to stop dating in today's world. Women's expectations from men are essentially unattainable, but women only need to be attractive to be successful in the dating world. You're supposed to believe that social justice, equality, and other such nonsense prevail in today's world. That is not true. So, let's stop the BS now. Men are tired of being rejected, doing the work, not having respectful women in their lives, being treated like disposable items, and the list goes on. Men are recognizing it is pointless to chase women. Instead, they should chase excellence and forge their own path. Even when they're interested, women want you to do all the work, which is exhausting, and probably something you don't want to put up with anymore. Instead, they act uninterested until you leave, at which point they reveal their genuine sentiments. It is best to save your limited energy for pursuing worthwhile objectives. If you're successful, they'll probably show up on their own. Just don't ever waste time trying to attract women. What do you expect will happen, even if a woman agrees after you chase her? Rather than pursuing and expending energy, it would be more effective to just express interest. Cut your losses and keep looking if she doesn't respond in kind. Even if it may seem difficult, the best course of action is to avoid participating in all these psychological tricks and confusing signals. The majority of young men do not earn the kind of money that most women dream of. It's hard to live your own life while being on guard against losing someone's transitory interest who is deliberately seeking any conceivable red flag to give an excuse to ghost you. I believe there is a propensity to downplay how harsh dating is for young men in today's society. Also, if I had $1 for every woman I met online who looked different in real life, I swear I would have enough money to buy a new iPhone. Most women you will come across online will have tweaked and edited images of themselves online, which will make them appear more attractive than they actually will be in real life. This means right from the beginning, you're going to be lied to and deceived by women online. Women can improve their appearance on social media by using makeup and image-enhancing software. They can make their eyes appear bigger and brighter, change the form of their faces, shrink their tummies, and alter the color of their skin. And when they do all these things to improve their digital appearance, it makes sense that their real-life image would be very different, frequently leading to disappointment and a lack of trust. As a culture, we have apparently made progress, but there are still standards that apply only to men and not to women. Unrealistic and downright unpleasant expectations. While some modern women might be inclined to place the blame on the patriarchy, the majority of them continue this never-ending cycle of expecting more from the other gender. It wouldn't be so uneven if women assumed equal responsibilities, which will never happen, to be honest. However, the majority of women currently face the difficulty of having too many options rather than being the ones who need to look for possibilities. And if we talk about online dating, I believe this is the most important reason why online dating is a waste of time for modern men. You see, on every online platform that is built for men and women to showcase themselves and find out suitable matches, there is always a surprisingly high number of men for a very low number of women. For example, if a dating app has 1,000 females on it, it will have 10,000 men on it finding the right match for them. How is this important? It's important because such numbers of economics create a massive demand for women, and a massively low demand for men, who are greater in number. So, if a woman posts her profile online, she's bound to instantly receive hundreds of invites and swipes and messages from thirsty men looking for women. And if a man posts his profile online, unless he's really good looking or has an interesting profile, he's barely going to receive 1 or 2 likes, swipes, or messages in a day, or perhaps even a couple of weeks. So, men, I believe, have much better chances of interacting with women in the real world than online. Thanks for watching The Circle of Kings. As always, we're looking forward to your support. So please hit the like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated with everything all kings like yourself need to know.